This is the DAR Today podcast, and I'm your host, Brooke Bullmaster Stewart. Well, our President General, her executive board, and some invited guests got to travel to Seville, Spain this past November. We mentioned that trip, of course, on this podcast last week when we discussed the visit to the National Archives there. This first segment on today's podcast will be about what happened later that afternoon after the visit to the archives. It was a huge day. The España Chapter is there in Seville, Spain. And there at our hotel, the gorgeous Alfonso XIII, the chapter hosted a party for us there. So we got to visit with them, with the chapter members, and the chapter regent, Elaine Granger, and Units Overseas National Chair, Sherry Thorne-Salima. So I'd love to just jump right into that segment today. And first we'll hear from our President General, Mrs. Wright, addressing those assembled at the party.
Thank you, Madam Regent. I bring you the warmest greetings from the 188,000 active members of the Daughters of the American Revolution who, like you, are dedicated to historic preservation, education, and patriotism. And what a joy it is for us, 33 members from the United States, to be here in Seville. When we decided to come back to Europe for a second trip, they asked me, what 3 places do you want to visit? Number 1 was Seville. Seville is one of my favorite places on the face of the earth. And we went to the archives this morning and saw the papers of Bernardo de Galvez. And to learn about Spain's role in the American Revolution, one of our oldest allies. And we are so thankful that we were able to see those documents and just to be able to personally say thank you to your ancestors for supporting our ancestors in our quest for freedom. Because we are united through service and through patriotism and the fight for freedom, and for that we are forever grateful. So I said at the archives this morning, I know Galvez is very important here in Spain, but in Texas we think he belongs to us, even though he was Louisiana governor. And this administration brought forth the Bernardo de Galvez pin to celebrate the contributions of Spain, of Galvez, but all men and women of Spain, all who served. And during our administration, we've added the Cuban, the Pensacola, the California, the Presidios, and expanded Hispanic heritage to the American Revolution, of which we are very proud because we understand the importance of Spain. And so I would like to present to you a Bernardo de Galvez pin.
Honored. I'm absolutely honored, yes.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your hospitality and for welcoming us with open arms.
Well, we then got the privilege to sit down with Librarian General Cynthia McNamara, España Chapter Regent Elaine Granger, and National Chair, Units Overseas, Sherry Thorne-Salima, hearing about what's happening with this very special chapter there in Spain.
Good afternoon. I'm Cynthia McNamara, and I'm the Librarian General. We're here at the magnificent Alfonso XIII Hotel, where they have graciously hosted us for a beautiful sherry party. And so we were so grateful to be here. It's wonderful for me as an executive officer, and I'm the executive liaison to our national chair. And we're joined with Elaine Granger, chapter regent of the España Chapter. And thank you, Elaine, for having us.
My pleasure. I came in, I was with Cindy, now I'm with Sherry, that hold my hand in support. And we have a project now is honoring a Spanish patriot of the American Revolution, one that is really responsible for George Washington having any shoes at all, any blankets, not to mention bullets and guns, but also a lot of money. And his name is Diego de Garroqui. He's from Bilbao. He was a commercial merchant on the seas. He did business with Boston. And of course, where did he put all this stuff for the troops? Underneath the fish that he sent to the bacalao, the cod, to Boston and Salem and the U.S. So we are planning to put a plaque up on the building where he met with Arthur Lee sent by Benjamin Franklin, who was in Paris, coordinating all of our allies. And of course, they had to have a secret meeting because Spain was not involved in the war and needed to figure out how they were going to help us beat Britain. So they met in Dardoque's wife's house in a city called Vitoria in the Basque Country, and it's a lovely town. And when we honor him with a marker, please join us because they have wonderful tapas there. The majority of our members are in Madrid, but we have members in the States, all over the United States. We have members in the Canary Islands and in the Baleares, and a lot in the south of Spain, in Seville and Rota. There's an air base in Rota, U.S. air base. And our members do a lot on the days with their children, on Veterans Day, for example, and big holidays that are organized to honor our veterans who we are so indebted to. And other things we do, we laid a wreath in Bilbao at the feet of John Adams, where there's a statue there. All the city hall mayor came out, and many professors, and even just people that are interested in U.S. Spanish relations. And we just had a ceremony at the British Cemetery where we honored 5 U.S. airmen who died in a plane crash just as the war ended, the Second World War. And we have a big monument to them with their names on it. Our chapter did that. And at that event, it was last Veterans Day, November 11th, we had big colonels and generals from Canada, from the U.S., from Spain, from of course, the Brits. It's the British Cemetery, yes. So we had a lot of the militaries, the world militaries there with us, and we, with them, placed wreaths at our individual grave that each of us was honoring. So we do lots of things like that. We try to involve the community to bring people into either service or to educate them about the wonder of Spain and Spanish people that supported us in the 18th century, because Spaniards and Americans really aren't aware of how vital that Spanish help was to our success. So we have contests for grammar school and high school. We also evaluate a master's thesis, actually 4 programs of a master's thesis at the University of Alcalá, with the criteria of the DAR. And we pick one and we award that student, graduating student, 600 euros, which is about almost $700, to give them a little boost as they're graduating. So education is a big thing with us, as is historic preservation and patriotism.
I am Sherry Thorne-Saluma, and I am the National Chair of the Units Overseas Committee. And when I was first asked by President General Pamela Wright to serve as the Units Overseas Committee Chair, I was very excited because I thought, oh wow, I get to travel. But the thing that I didn't realize was that I would meet such wonderful people like Elaine, who are leading chapters and doing service projects in their corner of the globe, like I am doing in my corner in the Washington, D.C. area. It has been such a pleasure to get to work with Elaine and the 59 members of her chapter the last several years, and to hear about all the wonderful things that they are doing in their country to promote the DAR, service to God, home, and country, to their country as well. and to find a fit within our organization. The DAR isn't one size fits all. We make the projects that serve our communities and our countries the best that we can, and they have done some tremendous things here in Spain. And I will say that associate membership is so very vital to all of our 16 chapters in 11 countries and 1 U.S. territory around the globe. Your membership allows these chapters to fund these projects for the schools, to give the scholarships to these college students, to fund all of the wreath layings and the markers and things throughout their communities. So I encourage everyone to visit the NSDAR website, look under committees, go to units overseas, go to join the chapters, and you'll find Spain, and click on Spain and click on España to become an associate member of the España chapter. Truly, your associate membership does make a difference to the people of Spain, to the people of the España chapter, and all the wonderful things that they can accomplish through your donations.
And I want to add, if any associate or even just someone interested in our chapter visits Madrid or Seville or anywhere in Spain, to let us know. And we love hosting visitors from the U.S., our fellow daughters and their families. So let us know if you're coming or interested in visiting Spain.
So grateful to be here. Thank you so much for generously entertaining us today, and we're so happy to be here.
Our pleasure.
And thank you, Sherry, for your leadership on this committee. It's been magnificent.
Daughters everywhere are recognizing the role that Spain played in our American independence, and those in the border states like Texas and California play a very big role in that. Well, recently, California laid an America 250 Patriot Marker at the Kern County Museum and really pulled out all the stops. People came from all over just to be there. And for this lifelong California daughter, this was my last event attended before moving to the East Coast. It was so significant. We not only had to attend, but we just knew we had to cover this on the podcast. District 15 Director Sharon Homer presided over this inspiring ceremony amid the uncharacteristically blustery winds and rain that day. Join me while we play bits of this now. California State Regent Christina Ramos brought greetings to those in attendance.
It is my distinct honor to bring greetings to District 15 and its chapters as we celebrate the unveiling of this America 250 marker. This marker represents your exceptional commitment to preserving history, educating future generations, and fostering patriotism.
What an honor the California State Society and all those in attendance had to have President General Pamela Rouse Wright there in attendance.
My great pleasure is to bring you greetings from the 188,000 active DAR members who, like you, are dedicated to historic preservation, education, and patriotism through service to God, home, and country. Now, what about this weather, right? I feel like I'm at home in Texas. We have a saying in Texas, if you don't like the weather in Houston, just wait 15 minutes. And I think the same is here. I have enjoyed being in California, your beautiful state, and I just am so pleased to be included in this event today. I look forward to welcoming you to Continental Congress in June. I can't wait to show you our National Historic Landmark, Memorial Continental Hall, that we have restored for the first time in 50 years, in half a century. She is absolutely beautiful, and I know that you will agree that every DAR member around the world is thrilled to proclaim consistently to all who will listen that we own the one true monument to the American Revolution in Washington, D.C., and it is mortgage-free and owned by women, right?
And of course, at an event like this, all of the local elected representatives were there, showing just how much this meant to the community. Dr. Mike McCoy, the director of the Kern County Museum, was presented with the America 250 Medal for his role in the laying of this marker.
The America 250 Medal is given in recognition of individuals and groups that have demonstrated extraordinary efforts to not only honor the men and women who have achieved American education, independence, but to also educate others about their service and sacrifice. Thank you, Dr. McCoy, for allowing District 15 to place this Patriot Marker here at the museum.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Well, my name's Mike McCoy. I have the great honor of being the director of the museum here. And I just have to say, Daughters of the American Revolution, for 135 years old, you guys are looking really good. Whatever you're drinking, send me some, okay? Well, I just on a couple of things. First of all, thank you for your philanthropy in the community, especially your educational programs. And most of all, thank you for your advocacy and patriotism.
Well, as you know from this podcast, Kathryn Walker West is the national chair of the America 250 Committee. And again, what an honor for California to also have her in attendance there to bring greetings.
One of the objectives of this committee was to have an America 250 Patriots marker in each of the 50 United States. I am pleased to report that over 300 America 250 Patriot Marker applications have been received from all 50 states, plus units overseas. Thank you, California Daughters, for your part in placing these markers. And I'm thrilled to be here today with you, and I thank you for your warm and gracious hospitality.
We then heard from Patty Schned, the America 250 State Committee Chair.
DAR is preparing to celebrate Stars and Stripes forever in a big way. The America 250 Committee offers an opportunity for every member in every chapter to participate in honoring our patriots and increasing membership as we rejoice in our DAR ties of service and friendship.
Our interests align with what the Sons of the American Revolution do to honor our patriots, and it's always a great idea to include them in our DAR events. And they were present here, of course.
The SAR is proud to stand with you as partners in this mission, and today we ensure the spirit of our patriot ancestors continue to inspire Americans across the nation.
With the group that day was Brandon Velarde from the local SAR chapter. And we love it when our Children of the American Revolution members can be present. Carly Dice, the California State Society president, brought greetings from the CAR.
Next year, America will celebrate its 250th birthday. Woohoo! As a member of the Children of the American Revolution, I am proud to be a part of a group that honors the sacrifices made by our ancestors during the American Revolution. The CAR, like Daughters of the American Revolution and Sons of the American Revolution, works to preserve our country's history and teach others about the importance of freedom and independence.
Our last speaker we'll play for this event today will be Victoria Fisher, the District 15 Registrar, who did a wonderful job reminding everyone of Spain's role in our American independence.
Besides sending ground troops and the naval force to protect our coasts and interrupt British supply lines, Spain was an essential ally in many ways. They sent more than 3 billion pesos, $3 trillion by today's currency, in weapons, blankets, uniforms, and loans to Washington's army from 1775 to 1781. When the French had no funds to lend or give us to prevent long unpaid troops from deserting, the Spanish collected and delivered funds to Washington's army, leading to our winning the final siege of Yorktown, a critical turning point in the war. Our country would not exist were it not for Spain's game-changing support. Thanks to the extraordinary efforts of the Specialty Research Team and the Executive Committee have approved patriotic service for California Spanish soldiers, which means qualifying descendants can become Daughters of the American Revolution.
We leave you today with this quote by President Teddy Roosevelt. I do not believe that any man can adequately appreciate the world of today unless he has some knowledge of the history of the world of the past. Well, thanks for listening and be well, dear friends. Let's celebrate the Stars and Stripes forever and remember, with all of your ancestors behind you, You are the result of the love of thousands. Well, this podcast was written and produced by our incredible team of writers and editors, and we are, as always, so grateful for President General Pamela Edwards Rouse Wright and Historian General Suzanne Heskey for their constant guidance. To Emily Bowling, Kristen Kaufman, Elaine Granger, Sherry Thorne-Salima, and Cynthia McNamara for being so generous with their time. The National Society Daughters of the American Revolution is a nonprofit, non-political, volunteer women's service organization dedicated to preserving our American history, securing the nation's future through better education, and promoting American patriotism. Members are all lineal descendants of those who supported the cause of independence in the Revolutionary War. For more information, please visit dar.org. This is the DAR Today podcast.